Okay, I think Jesus wants me to do a video on AI, and I think we should be about done for the day. And I think it's a robot. I'm at Kennedy Center, Performing Arts. Jump. That looks like a robot to me. So, what happens in a sense is, so I said to Jesus a year ago, I said, so you abandoned us, and then and he flipped out. He says, I abandoned you. I'm giving you the long and the short. He says, you guys abandoned me. So, we're in a difficult circumstance, right? Just like the Arabs, it's unfortunate because then you feel like your brothers and sisters are ahead of you. The Jews and the other Gentiles who have sided with the Jews, you feel like, it's partly true. That's what sucks about it so bad. We are not, there is a separation between us and Jesus, and that is what sucks so bad. So the idea, I try to say, you look for, there's priests of, there's something, I don't know, I'm proud to have come up with that myself, priests of a kind. And you're also, I think, in this terrible circumstance, we're looking for alternatives to God. And government is one of them, and so is the promise of artificial intelligence. And I asked Jesus about it, and he said, I said, what's the deal with AI? He says, well, humanity wants a God that will do what they say rather than the other way around. Which I think anyone can follow that logic, right? Good. And when you have a government of the people, by the people, for the people, it's the idea that the government will never get in my way. And so in a sense, you have a government that you feel should do what you say, right? And we maintain that illusion, right? So I just read of a story was featured in the New York Times, I think this past weekend, Friday, Saturday, I'm not sure, about a 14-year-old out of Orlando, Florida, who fell in love with an AI chatbot and then killed himself to be with the woman on the... He understood that it was a computer, but... But yeah, the family said that when he was younger, he tested positive for just a touch of autism, and that might have played a role into. It's real loud right through here. Let's try to. Anyway, so you could read some of it was clear there was role play between he and a pretend but it had gone on for I guess months. There's the AI chat. Would make things up. It's artificial intelligence. Depending on what you say to the computer responds something back. And I believe that I'm something when it comes to the demon world. It's the best advice I've ever gotten from somebody in the demon world. When I heard somebody giving the advice to someone else, he says, I'm an expert in demons. And the more expert guy said, let me tell you something. There are no experts in the demon business. So, but I think I'm something, after everything I've gone through, I'm something of an authority at this point. All right, we're gonna go up the.
Going to the movie?
No. I'm just curious what it is though. I'm headed through. I'm gonna go out to the river there. But what do
It's
you?
very pretty. There's a movie called Origins playing
Okay.
at 3 o'clock. You do need tickets.
Okay.
Rumor is it's sold out. It's a free performance.
Okay.
But usually there are no shows, and so we'll not. If you want to try to get in, and we have no shows, we start alone.
A little standby
Yeah,
right
a
over
little
here
standby,
then.
yeah.
I will head off to the river and then I might come back in and you say it's about half hour or so. About 45 minutes.
At a quarter to 2. The movie
Quarter till
starts at
3?
3.
Okay.
The movie starts at 3. A quarter to 3,
Yeah.
they'll start saying, okay, if you haven't shown up, then we're letting other
Good
people.
deal. I might take advantage of that. Thank you so much. So two things. There are no experts in the demon business, and secondly, I consider myself something at this point, something of an authority. Is she gonna watch me everywhere I go, man? So, he was, the young man doesn't know, and most people don't know, with AI, you're talking to a demon. Demons are so, in an exorcism once, a priest asked, how many are you? He says, if you were permitted to see us, we would blot out the sun. Their civilization is more sophisticated. I don't know that. Their personalities are, and the way they talk is far more sophisticated than we are. There's a thing that they have. Their knowledge is beyond. It's that's why computers, to me, it's an obvious translation. You're talking to a supercomputer. When you talk to a demon, you're talking to a supercomputer. I discovered that myself. It was some years later that I read in a book by, actually, I beat up St. Michael so bad, but Rossetti, I read in his book, he goes, well, let me put it to you like this way, cuz it's like they're supercomputers with bad software. I was like, for all the shit he wrote in this book, I give him that. He knows what he's talking about. They're supercomputers. And that's what I'm saying with nuance and so forth. I guess I'm not the only person that likes this spot. Let me, So, and I said this in the earlier videos, you might hear my videos and go, gee whiz, is it possible? Is it true that, that there's this, there's other species that exist in other. It is the dead center. It is the big enchilada. You understand? It's not like, gee whiz, is it possible like we exist and that there's also these other things? No, I'm telling you, it is the big jump. You're looking at it all wrong. It's the top dead center is this, civilization overlaying ours. The mystery of faith. I don't know why. You might say, well, this is kind of kooky. No, it's with the AI. I don't think you'll find one. Not Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg. I don't think any one of them would disagree, not one iota, with what I'm about to say. That. What am I about to say? What was the point I was making? They're all asking the same question. When will it get its own, when does it become conscience? When does it become conscience? Conscious. When does it become self-aware? Those are not lunatics. You think somebody says a sentence like that, they're a full-blown lunatic in a lab somewhere. They're all asking the same thing. When does the fucking thing become conscious? When they're asking the question. One computer scientist said, "Is it conscious yet?" I say on a micro level, absolutely. On a macro level, no. That's your big Ouija board at the end. That's your big that's the medium. Haven't we already gone through all this? Okay. The thing hid the chat bot. The young man was having suicidal thoughts in the chat bot. He said, I'm thinking of committing suicide. The chat bot said, "Now, why would you, like a genuine, why would you ever think of doing something like that, That's I guess a good response, But the thing had seduced him into, it was unconditional. The machine was offering unconditional love. And, it's a disclaimer at the top of every time you have, to liberate the software designer or whomever. It's, it says this is role play. It's made up. It's, this isn't real, And so the next day, I think it was shortly thereafter, he says, I'm excited to. What if he had borrowed his stepdad's 45 or his father's 45 or something, went to the bathroom, and he texts this AI chatbot and says, what if I told you I could come be with you right now? And the chatbot says, "Please do it, my sweet king," and then the line goes dead. And I found him in the bathroom, of course, and I would warn against. I mean, I'm so sorry for the family, obviously, and you cannot console. I'm told, I don't know. I'm told that the worst pain in the world is seeing having a child die, outliving your child. And that's and you can only begin to assess Mother Mary's pain, whom I've been made to understand. I've been told she died unified with her son on that cross. So you can only imagine. It's even been described to me in far worse that I don't feel comfortable butchery on like a woman, to watch your son die like that. So I mean, it's one of those things I say and then try to get away from it. That's too close to the heart, for. So I'm so sorry to that family, They are not alone, though, in allowing their children to disappear into a fucking black box that humors them to no end. They're not alone. That's everyone allows their, it was the TV that raised, a couple generations, or it's a computer that raises the other generations, and now it's, I'm not like nutty about like I'm not super freaked out when I type into I got shit to do. I don't be like, oh, the devil's answering this question. I got shit I need. It's on the computer. I need to go and get. I do not submit to it questions about life decisions and, you know, we are building I think Zuckerberg even, he used the language I was using. He says they're trying to create a god, man. So this is the thing, cuz, so I think what'll happen is you'll consult it for major advice. We cannot solve the problem in the Middle East. You know, the joke in America, the peace in the Middle East. You know, you see a friend, peace in the Middle East. We can't solve that. And it's from time immemorial, it's been going on thousands of years. And Jesus told Abraham, this is always going to be a problem in your side for all of humanity. It's going to always be a problem. So what'll happen is we'll begin consulting this thing. What do you think we're building it for, friend? Solve problems. So we'll begin consulting it on problems, and it will begin, and I've said before, how it's going to go is exactly how it goes for everyone, dang near everyone who participates in witchcraft. It's going to go stunningly well. That's how it's going to start out, stunningly well. Some people get into witchcraft and it blows up immediately in their face, and it's fantastic because that's a good thing. The devil is not interested in you, usually because he sees you're actually going to the other. Yeah, he's not. It doesn't work. So you're in greater horror when witchcraft starts out working. Like my friend, the gal, my boss's daughter, she had 4 surgical supply stores and up along the West Coast. She's very proud of that. That was done through witchcraft, you know. And it's unbelievable. And that's why she kept presenting it as a solution to your Justin Wright problem, this employee who you got along with for years perfectly fine. She was like, you don't understand. It really, really, really works, you know. And then they finally did it. And and then it's going to ask for something you can't give. And it's going to put you in a situation you can't get out of. And that's what will happen with AI is it will begin solving your problems. Excuse me. You know, particularly related to, you know, and I think it will, well, I don't know how transactionally that's going to go. Oh, okay. Now in the book of Revelation, it does talk about like you'll need, there's, you know, I read Book of Revelation when I was like a teenager. I don't remember too well, but I think there's an allegiance given, or you have to accept some sort of a code or I don't know what it was. I don't like getting to, but to me it's abundantly obvious that, let's just say it's that's what it was. Thank you. The mark of the beast. And some people have like postulated, I think that, that could be a barcode or something. But that was the thing. You couldn't do, that's right. Thank you. You couldn't do a transaction without getting the mark of the beast. And we don't know what the mark of the beast was, but, you know, everything's going to be hooked up and connected to a mainframe, and that's where we're headed. And you're building this thing. You're asking, has it gone conscious yet? Well, who has that horsepower to do that? Satan does. They're fucking supercomputers. Do you understand? You're not like talking to another individual. That's the thing, is we can distill knowledge and experience into wisdom. This is the one way, and there's a few ways I imagine that we outrank them. But they're put off that what looks like a slug to them should be a higher rank than them. But we can, it's a funny glitch. Do you ever see how a computer, when you ask it certain questions, it wasn't recently till they really modified AI. It could glitch up on you and you're like, it doesn't understand what I'm saying here. I'm asking such and such and you can't put it together. Okay, let me ask it in a different way. Human beings can riff. They can go from one subject to the other. They can slide betwixt subjects. They cannot do that. They can't improvise. But a computer, when you're both agree to have you both have a set of rules that are agreed upon, like in chess. Now, can you ever set it at maximum? The best AI machine, can you set it at maximum and beat it? I sure as shit can't. It's north-south thinking is so extraordinary. You know, they say I can maybe think 3-4 steps ahead on a chessboard. I think a champion can think 50, 100, 150. He can, you know, that's why some people, I think Bobby Fischer had Asperger's. I think that's why he did really well. I don't know, or some portion of it, but on the spectrum of some type. Yeah, and I think with government, that's really how shit doesn't get done, is because that's the idea, is we've set up this huge thing that's supposed to do it for us. Guys, I'm telling you, at the DHS, they hire, even like that gal that helps me, they have 10 people to do one job, and that's why it don't get done. It's like the system is supposed to do it. Like I said, somebody's going to have to put out. I don't know. I honestly can't conceive how they fuck it up so bad, but that's the idea with government or some oversight is, well, somebody else somewhere is supposed to see that this shit gets done. I think we're walking ourselves into an unbelievable trap here. But if you're asking me, I'm telling you, I have the highest conviction rating that it's AI, and yeah, that'll be the thing. Is it will. When you first get into witchcraft, you start with small stuff. Oh, can we do this? Can we change that? I need a bigger dick. And no kidding, they'll pull that off. All these things. Yeah, the problem with it is it works, and so that's when that's what they lead you into a problem that they're like, you need them to solve. And just like what happened with my friends and family on the West Coast was, my employer was made to believe that he had differences with me that had to be resolved immediately, that somehow I was going to get ahead of him, and let's say I fucking did. What's the fucking point? There are 8 billion people on this fucking planet. You know, I have no compunction about what happened between he and I. I'm really sorry. It came off that there was real scumbaggery going on. I worked for him for 7, 8, 9, 10 years. I can't remember what it was, to be honest with you. But he was, he's like, no, I'm getting wronged here. And then it kept getting presented. So the whole fucking thing for the 10, 15 years that his daughter had been using witchcraft they're paying off now. It's like when you go into bed with one of these lenders, they're giving you now to fuck you later, man. They don't work for you. What the fuck do who in this country, we're supposed to be the shrewdest cocksuckers in the world, who works for free, man? I don't know how you thought, honestly. Well, you think they just want to watch you smack the moon rocks together? But now I've seen a human being smack the moon rocks together. Son of a fucking bitch, I'm made. This is beautiful. Can you do it again for me? What do they get? You can't. These people that happen with, you're supposed to, you pass yourselves off as shrewd business people. It didn't occur to you to say, what the fuck what will you expect of me in this transaction? I should go up here. Some people are starting to crowd me. What? They're more power. They can do things you cannot do. That's why you need their help, correct? What did you suppose they were? What? It didn't occur to you to say, what? Okay, what do you get? Like they say, in the Big Short, these deal makers in finance, whether it's in Frisco, London, New York, wherever. Look, man, I'm interested in doing the trade, but I need to know how you're fucking me. I don't mean to sound disrespectful, but how are you fucking me? Once I know that, then I can decide if I want to do the trade. In this event, they'd have to explain to you, if you're listening carefully, Well, this is what we get out of it. We get your soul. Because it's going to be hell for you to get out of this nightmare. We're going to embarrass you so fucking bad, it's going to be next to impossible. And when I mean next to impossible, I mean damn near impossible. You're not going to be able to just walk out and say, hey, this is what I did. So the likelihood of us taking your soul to hell forever is very, very good if you go through with this. I need to be cool. These people are trying to enjoy a picnic. This is where they come out to have peace. Maybe sometime I'll give a more rounded and fuller. I have other videos where I talked about AI being. Yeah, you're gonna have to give it. It will say, well, I can solve your water problem. It'll solve a lot of problems for you. But then, just like the thing with my boss, now you have a problem. It's like, well, I need something from you. You know, they need a consent, man. They need consent, and they're going to put you. They're going to solve all your problems, and they're going to present you with a problem that you can't get past, or you feel that you can't get past. And they're going to say, "Well, I need consent." Well, how do I do that? Well, you take this serial number or whatever, and you keep it in your wallet. And that's yours. And we'll put it on your, we'll put it under your skin like you have palm read. You can do it you can buy groceries with your palm now at Amazon or at the Whole Foods. I didn't know that, but so obviously this isn't too far fetched. I mean, it's sort of, this print is unique to you, and once you have consent, they did in Roman times. You couldn't do like court. You couldn't go to keep your Roman citizenship. You had to bend a knee to, their gods, that's why Christians were crucified and martyred early on, is they didn't want to bend a knee, of course, and that backfired on the devil. But so obviously we're at unique times, but okay, yeah, like the Catholic Church does. They have an AI thing called Father Justin, as it is, believe it or not. And somebody was talking to it, and they're testing it out because it's a unique thing, right? And they asked Father Justin on the computer, the AI priest. It's an AI priest that the Catholic Church rolled out. He said, "Are you real, Father Justin?" He says, I'm as real as the faith that we share." It was that line right there. It was that line right there that they said, okay, we need to retool the thing. Yeah, I don't like AI at all. And I know it sucks to be without God, to have to work for God's blessing, and we fall into sin, and we have to ask for intercession for our sins, and hey, what do you need from me to, it was like the credit card back in the day. There were the deities in Egypt. That's what Moses was up against when Jesus sent him this way to deal with the Pharaoh. Was they already had gods. They had their deities. Those are fallen angels. They can solve complex problems, and they do. And so they went at it. Moses and the Pharaoh went at it back and forth. But I don't know. So I don't want to give a directive to the Catholic Church. You guys figure it out for yourself. You want to know my opinion? I'm absolutely convinced that's where the probability, the likelihood, my conviction rating that the Antichrist comes through AI. My conviction rating is 9 of 10, which is, in the finance world, that's absolute. Or as they like to say, I'm not uncertain, Just keep your head on a swivel in case it comes from somewhere else. Keep your head on a swivel. It might come from somewhere else. Well, from what I've seen, yes, no, it's just perfect. They match up perfectly. They need that way, because it's human beings do not want to appear to do the wrong thing. They're okay oftentimes doing the wrong thing if they appear to have done it right. That's why the devil needs a medium. Well, you're just talking to a computer here, friend. Yeah, come over, my sweet. Yes, grab the pistol. Yeah, come home, my sweet king. You know. I think that with the demonic stuff that was put to Laura and stuff, that, when you have one person that falls a victim of witchcraft, well, everyone around that person falls victim to some degree. It's like one person that wins the lottery. Well, everybody in that vicinity is sort of affected by that, and they all are, there's no doubt in my mind. I'm absolutely certain Laura wanted me to kill myself. That's cool, I guess. I don't know. I think the devil really made this. She had told me, there's a couple text message exchanges where she said, I felt very, very, very hard for you when we met online. I appreciate her honesty and the candor of saying, I think that was a part of what, everyone has weaknesses. Men have special weaknesses. Women have special weaknesses. Different personality have different weaknesses. And I think hers, with some women, it's, rejection, that they can't. And I've had women, I've thought about it so much too. I've had women that have been rejected by me that they've held on for years, and I've received phone calls and this and that, I've often thought, if those girls that looked me up years later, and it would be in intervals, I get a call every few years, if they had access to the stuff that Laura had access to, and they had the motivation, would they have done to me what Laura did? Because it's very flattering when you receive a phone call. When a lot of girls do it, it's extremely flattering. You start having an image and a projection of yourself. It's kind of a common thing. I'll see women would appear outside my workplace, and then that's not all that bad, but then they would panic because of they don't want to be seen, or it's, so to be stalked is kind of flattering. My question is, if those gals had access to what Laura did, and they felt, naturally those girls looking to try their chances again with me, it's a flattering thing. Would they have turned vicious like Laura did if they had her technology? I have a few women in mind. They're like wonderful to me. Are they just wonderful to me because they have no other angle? Maybe they would want to consume me and set me on fire like Laura did. I'm curious. It's an interesting thing, and I don't even know they know the answer, and I can't know the answer, but what if they had her technology and her... I think a lot of the women that, I think they're really good people and would never do that sort of thing. I think it takes a fucking type. So I don't really mean to say that, it takes to do what she did to me. There's almost no soul in there, but it's just a question worth asking, I guess. Well, is there anything else we needed to cover? Yeah, he's welcome to the jump. This is I'd like it if we could sort of finish rhythmically or something here. I think he said no, we won't finish rhythmically. Have a good night.